Hello, everybody, and welcome to Angel Meadows. I am Mama D, also known as Darlene. Tonight, my guest, I'm going to get this straight, is Zoe Kelly. Not Zoe. Even though you have an E, the E is silent, unlike Rick or Ick. It's not silent. Zoe Kelly. See, you are a clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, psychic, and past and life coach. And you published a book, Spirituality of the New Millennium, which I kept tripping over that word during my Facebook Live.
It's kind of big.
Okay. Zoe, channels the divine as she speaks with you, raising your vibrations. As you can tell, I do reading of stuff. Okay. Most important thing, Zoe's here. She's my guest. She's done the stuff. And I think one of the most interesting things that sort of got me is that for 8.5 years, you worked with Denver law enforcement to help solve crimes.
Yes, I worked with various law agencies here in the state of Colorado.
Okay. So the crime I need you to figure out is who the hell broke my heart? Okay. They're in the chat room. Oh, okay. Okay. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, for me, everything started when I was 6 years old. And I started seeing people that had crossed over in my room, which of course scared me. And I just assumed everybody was like that. And I just thought I was doing a really poor job with it. And I would try to talk to my parents about it, and they'd be like, what are you talking about? And they thought something was wrong with me. But then as I got older, I learned to control it instead of letting it control me. And I noticed in high school, my friends would come to me with problems, and I would tell them what I thought. And to me, it was just common sense, but it wasn't common sense. It was intuitive. And they're like, it happened exactly what you said. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and stronger. And I just kept following my urges and following what I felt was my calling. And that led me to, I guess, mastering my craft as best that I could. I mean, we can always go more and more and get stronger and stronger. But then that's when I started working with the police. It was right when I published that book. And that's kind of what sparked the interest. And then from then on, I ended up doing 8.5 years with them.
So do you still work with them now, with law enforcement now?
No, I don't, because I got tired of the darkness. I got tired of the death. I wanted to work more with the light. I wanted to work more with guiding people. And what I'm noticing kind of is my theme right now is helping everybody shift over into the new paradigm of what's really going on.
It's a lot going on. So, okay, I'm not 100%, I was ready for the show, but during your links to your page and anything else that you want to share, this is the place, the time and the place to share it. We'll share it throughout the show. Okay, so there was something here. Your guides. Now you work with your guides as well. So tell us a little bit about your guides and how you met them and how many you have.
The two main that I work with, one is I call him Terry, and the other one, his name is Zachariah. And when I first saw Zachariah, he scared me really bad because he looked like a monk, but kind of a really scary monk. But what I realize is it seems that he looks more like an ancient seer. And so, yeah, now I'm used to him, and now I call for him all the time. But those are my two main that I work with. But I also work with much higher beings that are part of the divine, because that's all that I'll work with. But some of them, they don't have names. Some of them, they just have vibrations to me and certain feelings, and I know who they are. But it's kind of like, to me, names aren't important. I just know who they are by vibration and energy. And I know when each one steps in.
Okay. So when, like you said, you connected to spirit since you, or since you were 6 years old and you didn't really, but when was the first time, okay, this spirit, this vibration that I'm feeling is my guide? And who was your first?
Zachariah was.
Sorry.
And when I knew what he was, knew who he was, I was about 19 years old. Until then, I kind of had to skate through it and just trust. But I also saw, like, many times I saw a lot of Jesus, and I also saw Archangel Michael. I always had a thing with those two, always, ever since I was little. So I see them a lot. And for the first time, it was really weird. I was doing this meditation the other night, and I saw Michael, which I always do, which I love to see Archangel Michael. But then a Saint Christopher walked in, and that was really bizarre because I had never met Saint Christopher before, and that was very strange. And so I thought, well, let me check out and see who he is. And I looked him up, and he's like the patron of travelers. And so it was funny because what I was doing on was ascension and, you know, moving into the next dimension. And I thought, well, that covers travel. So I kind of feel like he popped in there to help me. And ever since I did that work with him and Michael, I feel completely different. I feel energized. I feel happy. Things are going really smooth. It's definitely bounced on another level, which I'm really happy about.
Sorry, it seems I'm having issues with my sound and my picture. So Sandra left the room. Sandra, by the way, people, with me. Oh, Lordy. Be an idea if I use the right mouse to shut down this stupid computer. As I said, this show, my show is about having people on who, hi Raven, oh, she can't hear me, who raise a vibration in one form or another, and there's no rhyme or reason as to how I do things, as you can, thank you, as you can tell, nothing's normal about me and or how I do things. Hi Raven, thanks for coming, honey. I'm not sure which Raven it is, 1, 2, or 3, but we'll figure it out eventually. Got a lot of people with the same sort of names. Different little tiny bits changes. Okay. Remember everybody in the chat room, if you have a question, and if anybody who's listening online, because I did give up the phone number to a few people, but you don't seem to be in the chat room. Yes, poor Darlene, I know, poor me. Put your questions in capitals, please. Donna Raven. Okay. Put your no, you can't talk, Brian. Put your questions in capitals. And if those of you who want to talk, okay. Are you willing to take voice questions? I'm not sure what. Hey, I'm not sure what Brian's all about. If he gets to be a pain, just give me a sign and I'll kick him from the room. Okay, Brian, what is your question, darling?
Well, the question is this. Much the same as yourself, I've helped out on finding people. I see mine virtually through remote viewing. I wonder if you've done the same.
You know, that's funny that you say that because that's something I've been checking out lately, is looking at the remote viewing. I was watching a Corey Good video, and they had Gerald O'Donnell on there. And he's all about the remote viewing. And so that's when I really started kind of getting really curious about that. So that is something I actually want to start playing with.
Honestly, it's beyond belief because one of them that I done, I went to the guy, he had the boy child on his lap in the car, and I could see exactly what he was seeing. It was a rocky beach, and you know, there's the lights further down the coast. It was so intense that, well, they found him within about 2 hours. So it works so well. But as I say, you can't really, until you're in a position like you're in, where you could get in touch with the police and help them. Over here, I'm afraid they're a little bit more sceptical. It's a bit tight.
Well, here too, though, they really are. I mean, like I would tell them when I would work on cases, I would say, I'm only as good as the detective that you put me on with. Because if I
Ah,
had somebody that bucked what I was doing, we were going to clash energies. But I was so lucky working with this one department. He grew up in a haunted house. And
mhm.
so we really were able to be quite a team.
Yeah, you should try it though, Chloe, because it is absolutely, it's a wonderful thing to be able to do. And it's only an extension, really, of meditation.
Wow. Yeah, you've really got me interested now because that's so funny that you came on and you said that.
It always comes through to me, and I'll point you in the right direction. Give you all the levers that I have
Love it.
used over the last 20 years.
Yeah,
Go for
no,
there.
that's awesome. Absolutely.
Okay,
But
so I'll
yeah.
connect you with Brian at the end of the show to make sure. He's also on Skype.
Oh, good, good. Okay. But
Eric,
no, I'm glad
hey.
you said that because that's funny. That's something that I was looking at.
Okay. Okay, Brian, I'm going to mute you. So I almost kicked you through. I'm just going to mute you. Brian was a co-host with me on another show that I did. Same station, different channel, la la la. So I get to pick on him and threat kick him out the room because he's my guinea pig.
Guinea pigs are good.
Yes, they're sweet and cute and adorable, and his wife lets me pick on him all I want.
Oh, there you go. Even better.
Yeah. I mean, not that I need a reason to pick on him, but it's always good to have, and it's really fun to have the wife's permission too, because certain people get
Yeah, they can
the
get free reign.
yipper. Okay, so what exactly are you doing now? Because I know you used to do radio shows as well,
Mhm.
and when you connected with me, you were saying, well, you wanted to get back into radio. So, poor you, pick me. There you go.
Well, it was funny because I keep getting these urges, and you know how it is. You get that urge, you follow it.
Yes.
And it was funny because right when I saw your picture, I just knew. I was just like, there's a good soul right there. I just knew when I saw your face.
It's the
So,
redhead thing.
well, yes, that's some of it too. Not that I'm partial, but
Now, no, we got it. Somebody told me, was it last week? I believe somebody told me that this year coming is the year of the jitter. And I'm like, hey, got it. I got it down. Hey, what the heck? There you go. And Scott in my chat room is being a funny man. He said that you need to have your eyes tested if you thought the first time you saw me, you thought that I was a nice person.
oh my God.
As you can tell, Scott and Eric and Brian, I have all of their wives on my friends list, and all of their wives I will contact and tell them all to smack you. But at least I know Scott, if she takes his fly swatter out, she smacks him. Out of nowhere, he'll feel this fly swatter, and he'll be like, I didn't do it.
Yes, I work with goddesses. I love Freya. She's my favorite. Somebody just said if I work with goddesses, and
Yes,
I said yeah.
that was Wings Soar. She
Yeah.
says, how about Bridget?
Not so much with Bridget. My connection is Freya, very much so.
Kind of figures. Scott, yes, I know. Scott has an Akita, and his Akita's name is Freya.
So's my dog.
And she is. You should follow her page. She has her own Facebook page, at which she tells the most amusing stories about how she tortures her daddy.
That's great.
And, so we'll hook you up with that at the end of the show. Yeah, I'm just gonna have Akita on one day, and she's just gonna howl through the whole show.
Yeah, I notice over here it says my feral mutt.
Yeah, he just loves her. Wings would like to know: do you make your own herbs? Do you work with your own herbs?
I play with the herbs. We've got this awesome shop downtown, and you just walk in there and it's like a little kid in a candy store. It's bad. It's I mean, there's everything, but I like to play with teas and tinctures and things like that. But I also, like to use them for ceremonial purposes as well.
Okay. Hun, I have to tell you, it's really inside you to do. Ah, yes. If you haven't figured it out, majority of the people in my chat room are spiritually connected in one way or another, and Wings is very connected. So, and she says that you should be working with the herbs. You should be working with the herbs.
Yeah, I'd love to have one of those windows where you could just grow your own. That would be amazing.
Okay. Okay. We're going to say goodnight to Nell, Native Earth Lady. She's got a bit of a bad back, and her sweet and adorable grandson gave her his coal because he loves his Nana so much and gave it to her. So she's off to bed.
True love.
That's what we Nanas are for, to give them gifts. Thank God I don't have any little munchkins. I just have Zach over the camera. Hey, Nell, please.
25, so I'm good.
Sorry, you what?
I said my little munchkin's 25, so I'm off the hook.
They can still come by and give it to you guys. Yeah. Wings likes your energy. Nope, Nell's gone. But okay, so you're going to get back into radio.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what kind of show you would like to do? Because like I said, you do readings, you do invest. Okay, wait a second, hold on. Where exactly are you based in the U.S.?
I am in Colorado.
Colorado, okay.
Yeah.
You said that, but for some reason California stuck in my head, and that would have been Wings.
Yeah, I'm about 5 miles from the famous Red Rocks Amphitheater.
Ooh, I see pictures of that.
Yeah, I literally live right there.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Love the foothills. They're awesome.
It's one of the places that when I do travel, that I'm going to. Hello, Teresa Jones, or Jones Teresa, not sure. It's one of the places I would like to. I heard a beep. Why did I hear a beep?
I heard a beep too. It's the mothership.
They're coming to take a few of us back.
They finally came. It's about freaking time. They're a little late.
We're all special. As I said, no, it's not Teddy. Don't even start with Teddy. Eric just got scanned. Okay. No, don't. Nobody needs to shush anything in my chat room. Somebody sent me a message saying, "Oh, shush." No, don't shush. Talking, it's fine. Okay. So your show that you're thinking of getting back into doing, aside from where you're going to do it, do you have any idea what kind of show you want to do? Do you want to do readings?
Yeah, I do want to do readings, but I also too, like I said, I'm getting really strong urges to talk about what's going on, how to help people with, the change that's happening. Because I've got a lot of clients calling me going, I think I'm losing it. And I'm like, oh, no. You're in transition.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's just freaky, because in one sense we have one foot in one world, and then in another sense we have another foot in another world. So how could you not feel kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, so to speak? I mean, it's adjustment, and adjusting is hard.
It is, and I have to admit that for the past little while, for me the energies have been really really good and really really good and then bad.
Yes.
So it's great that we have you and many other people out there that are willing to help and guide, because even those who think that they've got it and I got this under control, then something will happen. It's like bang. So you need someone to talk to. You need someone to listen. And so it's great that's something that for me I think that's one of the most important things is to be able to help people, whether it's one person or 100 people get that. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. But I want people to know that they're not crazy, and that a lot of them have been calling me saying, I feel this is exactly what they say. They're like, am I getting Alzheimer's because my memory is completely gone? And I'm like, nope, your brain's getting wired. That's what a lot of my clients are. They're like, is something wrong with my brain? Because all of a sudden I'm forgetting things. I'm walking into rooms going, why am I here? And I'm like, no, your brain's getting rewired. Our physical bodies are getting rewired. All our bodies are getting rewired. And it's hard to deal with. It's hard to deal with, but you got to surrender and go with spirit.
Yeah, because if you fight it, then it makes it even rougher.
Yeah. And the main thing that, right now I'm telling people is where we're at to shift from the old paradigm into the new paradigm is you have to believe. Because belief is everything. I mean, if you believe, it's like that, I don't know who the certain author was who said it, but they said if a man thinketh he can, he's right. And if a man cannot, they're both correct. So if you believe everything's going to be okay, if you believe the universe has your back, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yes, you have a slow electrician, Eric.
It's about trusting in yourself and trusting that God has you.
Yeah.
The universe has you.
If somebody calls up and says, like you said, I'm losing my mind, I'm forgetting this, how do you get them? Because I do this sometimes. I sit there and I go, do I trust myself? How do I, how do you get us to believe, to trust in ourselves? Because everything is so new.
Yes.
Like you said, somebody is sitting there going like, I'm forgetting the grocery. I don't have to seriously write down a grocery list because otherwise I can't even remember the basic things. Some people, I can't remember sometimes my code for to enter at work. It's like, but I have to stop and take a deep breath and then it's like just sort of calm myself and then I'll remember things. But, so how is it that you can give people ideas of how to learn to believe in themselves and what they do and what they're, everything else that they're doing?
Well, the main part of it all starts when you're ready. And what I mean by that is you're ready for your life to change. And I'm not talking about just being ready. I'm talking about being really ready, where you go, I don't care anymore. I just want out of where I'm at and I'm ready to rock and roll at whatever cost. Let's just go. That's when a person is ready. And as soon as a person hits that point in their life, that's when things dramatically start to change. And that's when spirit goes, okay, they're ready. But they have to get to that point. You have to get past that fear. You gotta want it so much you don't care. And what I've noticed is with people, once they find out that there's like work involved, they're like, oh, I don't want to do it. And it's like, everything is work. I mean, like a lot of people think that when you're psychic, there's no work involved. It's just really easy. No, when I'm looking at something, it's like Tarzan going through the jungle. I'm going through vine, through vine, through vine, through vine. Because I see something, hear something, feel something, and then I get pulled over here, and then I get pulled over here, and then I have to put it all together and then explain it to the client exactly what it is that I'm seeing and what it is that I'm feeling for them. So it's work. I don't care what anybody says. It's work.
Well, nothing is easy these days, and you have to work at everything.
You do.
That was supposed to be welcome, Tracy. You watch the kids nowadays, and they're madly in love one minute, and the next week, oh my God, he or she has done this, that, and the other thing, but they're not willing to work through it. It's like, and I'm also guilty of this, is that I would love to connect more with spirit, but I also know that I have to do the work. I have to make the time to sit down and meditate or just concentrate on what I'm doing for myself. So this is, some things people just, somebody once said I have this instant gratification disease. We all want it to happen as quickly as possible.
Nature.
And sometimes people, exactly. And some people are just not ready to do the work for it. So, and that's part of life is working
Yes.
towards everything.
Yeah. And that's all part of like this ascension process. You got to want it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be willing to do it. I mean, it's like, well, if you want to ascend, you got to be open and you got to help people.
Yep. Yeah, because some people are like, okay, I'm ready for the ascension. Give it to me.
Yeah,
but like you said, they have to work for it. They have to, and everything is part of a step.
Yes.
You know? So you have to be, like you said, you have to help people, because in helping people, you're also helping yourself. And it's
yes, exactly. And that's like the guides too, angels, everything like that. If you ask for help,
mm-hmm.
there's an energetic exchange that happens between you and the divine beings. So they wait for us to ask. But the whole secret to asking for help is you don't ask in paragraphs and semicolons and caps. You just simply keep it sweet and you talk to them as if they're 3 or 4 years old. I need help with blank now. And you always
Mm-hmm.
want to throw now on the end if you really want it now, because they don't understand linear time.
Yeah, true, exactly.
But the shorter and the sweeter you keep it, they get it. And when they do help you, they get an energetic exchange, which is in a sense like a spiritual promotion in their world. So they want to help.
Yeah. And it's like Wings in the chat room says, to her, it's an inside job. First, you have to work on your inside. You know,
Totally.
you can want everything to come to you, but it has to happen inside. Hey, Fellini. Welcome, sweetie.
Well, and that's the whole thing that's kind of going on right now, or at least part of it is, we were brought up, I mean, just look back 10 years ago, we were brought up as, oh, gotta keep up with the Jones or be the Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's downsize, make things simple, just be happy, no stress, drop the baggage is what's really going on. But that does start within. I mean, you have to go within and then outside. But when we were brought up wrong, because we were brought up to believe that everything comes from the outside in, when it was backwards the whole time.
Yeah. You know, if you have this, you'll be
done
happy.
on purpose for control, to be honest with you.
I think it may have started that way, but at some people, I believe, like my parents didn't bring me up to believe that whatever I got, they weren't thinking the negative way. If you have the house, you'll be happy. If you have the happy, the family, you'll be happy. That's because that was what they learned.
Yeah, they didn't know. Every generation before, you bet.
Exactly. So we have to learn as this generation, we have to learn to allow our children and the younger ones in us, to be open, say, yeah, it's just imaginary friend, go away. Stop. This is not something we do. My sister, is bringing up her children that way, but that's not the way we were brought up.
Yeah.
We were brought up just like, yeah, okay, your imaginary friend, it's done, it's over, it's kaput, But when my niece, when the baby niece talks about, her friend, and she has a name from, I can't remember what the name is, but so-and-so said this, and the other thing, back in the day, people would be like, well, that's just her imagination, don't worry about it.
Right, exactly.
But she's serious about this. She says, what her little friend says and what her little friend does. And it's going, okay, yes, it's an understanding that it's part of who we are, what we're doing, and a lot of parents nowadays are allowing them to have that opening, and to be, to be who they are from the inside.
Well, and a lot of these kids, they're different. They're coming in already, high frequency, higher vibration, more into earth. They're coming in completely different. I mean, even if you look at them physically, they physically look different.
Yeah.
They're taller. Their kids are coming taller, I've noticed.
I know. Scott in the chat room has a question. There has been a lot of years where our predecessors have had to sit and sit, But as it gets more and more towards the ascension shift, there is less time to sit. So therefore, that implies that there is less time to sit and meditate, etc., etc. Maybe we need those instant healers and mediums.
Well, and that's the whole thing is, it's time for the closet healers to come out. It's time for the closet mediums, the closet psychics to step out, to raise this vibration. And, I feel like over the last few days, a porthole has definitely opened. How long it'll stay open, I'm not sure, but something is open, and it's like you can step through this door. So now is the time to start going, what is it that I want to do that can benefit everybody and that can help everybody? Because it's all about service.
It is.
And the time is short. Yeah, it is. It is. Because, we're setting up the next 9 years. If you think about it, when we started this year, it was the year of 1. We're starting in a whole new cycle, and that's that 9-year cycle. So we've completed a lot of stuff, but yet we're starting over again in year 1. So the rest of this month, which is very little left, and December, that's where you really got to put the energy out there. You got to really put out there what it is that you want, full intentions. But when you put those intentions out, you've got to do it with conviction.
Okay.
So,
question in the chat room. Does that not lead to all the quick buck and money grabbing mediums to step up and try their luck?
I think with some people, yes, but I think really what this is about is not about the money grabbing mediums to step up and do that. It's of course there's always going to be people out there that are going to do that. I don't care if you're a psychic or a car salesman, you know what I'm saying? There's always somebody out there that's going to try to make a buck and money grab and all of that. But this is the time where the divine is going, find it within you. Find it within yourself. Because that's the whole point of this ascension, is going within, finding your own truth, finding your own voice, having your own connection, and not relying on them so much. We literally were made from a creator, therefore we are creators. And I think that's what the Dutch is trying to say is, hey, you have all this power that you don't know about. And now you guys are starting to wake up, start stepping into it and really see what it's all about. So a lot of that is trusting yourself. We're all intuitive. I don't care if you're a horse, a cat, a human. We're all intuitive. We all get those feelings like, you know what? This situation just feels like it's going to get really bad. I need to go. You feel that way? You turn around and you leave. How many times have people said, oh my gosh, if I had just listened to myself, I heard that little voice in my head say, don't do that, don't say that. And they went ahead and did it.
And I think people are still as open as we are, and I want it to be more open. This is one of the reasons why I do these shows, is I want people to, Wings not shy, at least she better not be, is there's so many people going, oh, what if I ask that question and they think it's stupid, or what if I say this and it's not right? There's been so many people out there who are afraid of, to be laughed at, to be shunned, and to be like, hello, what is this wrong with this? That we need to be able to allow them the space to be, asking what they consider to be a stupid question. Personally, I think the only stupid question is the question that you don't ask, because no question is, stupid.
Exactly. And the thing is, everybody's on their own journey and everybody's rolling at their own speed. And if you're going to be judgmental, obviously you're not in the right vibration.
Very true. You got a couple of questions in the chat room. Eric says, but if there is less time to achieve oneness with spirit and to understand the link, surely the degree of competency. Oh, you had to put that big word in there, did you? Is degraded. So if we try and connect quicker with spirit, it's not as Eric's been doing this for a few years, so his connection to spirit has been since he was a child, you know. Whereas there are people who come in now and just like, oh, like I've been doing readings for like years, and years is like 2 and 3, compared to somebody who does a reading for 20 some odd years to somebody who's been doing 2 years. I understand what Eric's saying, so hopefully I've explained that right, because I won't give my opinion, because I'm sure you don't know it. Go ahead. Do you think that the difference is as intense, you know, as big of a difference for somebody who's been doing readings for 25 years or connecting with spirit for 25 years in comparison to somebody who's been doing it for 2 years?
No, I mean, you could do it for a day. I mean, it all depends on your connection.
Okay.
It all depends on your connection. Just because somebody's been doing readings for 50 years doesn't mean they're better than somebody who's been doing them for 2. It's your connection and how powerful your connection is and how clear and clean it is.
True. And Wings would like to know, what color cape do you have?
I would say it would be a dark gray. That's my favorite color.
Okay. I'm sure we'll get a comment on that one. And Raven, yes, and you tell your students that there is no stupid question. That's very good, yeah. There isn't one, except for the ones that you don't ask, because once it gets out there, it's like not a stupid question, because there's at least somebody else out there in the world who's asked the same question.
Well, and like I always tell people too, is ask. What's the worst that you're going to hear? No?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
I'm good at asking.
And if somebody degrades you for asking a question, then you're talking to the wrong person.
Very true. Okay. And Scott says, and there are way too many ego-driven mediums and teachers who patronize us and make us feel small, mainly because they want to keep their perceived place.
And it could be. I mean, you know, we are having a switching of the guards. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of the big metaphysical gurus they've been on the block for a long time, and we've got some new folk coming in, and they're stepping down. But again, that's all part of the change. I mean, it's kind of like you can talk to 999 people and ask them the same question, and then you finally hit that thousand person, and they answer it basically in the same way. They just reword it, but then the epiphany hits. Does that make sense? Everybody's just learning to word it differently. We all are doing the same thing. We're all feeling the same thing. It's just wording and making more of that personal connection as opposed to that distant connection. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I'm hoping that answers the question in the chat room as well. One of the things that we're going to stick on the same lines as mediums. Yeah, okay. Wing says they can only make you feel small if you let them, and it depends on how much power you have given them as to how they make you feel. Yeah,
absolutely.
There are mediums and psychics and healers and that whole metaphysical genre out there that will charge you $25 for a session of whatever it is, or $2,500 for a session. Exactly. And I have heard of somebody who does that. Okay. And I know, like, somebody once said to me, which would you rather have, the $2,500 or the $25 one? Well, yeah, sure. I'd probably like to have the $2,500 because it would be interesting to see what they have to say. But I mean, I can only afford $25. It just depends on which one I feel comfortable with, because the $2,500 one could be like, you know, doesn't attract me. The energy that I get doesn't attract me as much as the $25 reading. So I go along for me, when I come to get a reading or a healing or a session of whatever it is, I go to the person that makes me feel comfortable.
Exactly. Exactly. And, it's like a piece of furniture. When you walk into the store, some people go, well, okay, it's the same couch, but why is one $1,000 more than the other? Oh, it's just a different brand. That's it? But some people like those brands. Some people want a Versace couch. Some people go, I don't care. I just like the couch. I don't care who made it. Just as long as it's made well and it's going to last me. So, like, again, name branding. I mean, if it's somebody famous, they go, oh, well, I assume that the reading's going to go well because they're famous or they publish books or, but that doesn't necessarily mean that person's going to be the one to work with.
Exactly. And the thing is, even the name brands, they still get the no's. It's just that we don't hear about them.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend, and he said he heard an interview with, I can't remember his name. It's a psychic over here. He does the Beyond something or another. He's got a TV show. And they asked him, what is the thing you like the least about your TV show? And he said, it's because you don't get to see the no's. So everybody who's out there on TV, the healers, the mediums, the psychics, the whatever, just like every other profession, they shine, somebody shines the brighter light so that you can see. You don't get to see the nose. So there are mediums out there who get the nose, and there are mediums and don't get the connection, and there are healers out there who can't connect for whatever reason to their patient. Now, to me, everything, a medium, a psychic, a healer, a Reiki practitioner, are all healers in their own right. So yes. I'm going to use that as the word, because whether you're healing the mind, body, or the soul, you're still healing something. Whether you're passing them a message or telling them what their future possibility of futures are going to be, you're still healing something. So every healer has had a no, and has had a moment of like, I'm not sure. Like my very first time I gave somebody a reading with cards, in my head I'm going, that makes absolutely no sense. But made no sense to me, not to the person who was getting the message, because when I started, kind of went, okay, I'll tell you. And that person was like, oh my God, yes. I was like, okay. And it was sort of shocking, because like it didn't make sense to me. And then I realized it's not supposed to make sense to me.
Exactly. You're just there to give the information.
Exactly. I
remember this one gal that, God, this is in the very beginning when I was brave enough to do readings and step out and get paid for them, right? It was like, oh my God. I kept seeing chickens every time I was trying to read for her. And finally I was just like, okay, I gotta ask. I said, I keep seeing chickens around you like crazy, and I don't understand why, but I gotta put it out there. And this was actually really good, because it taught me, to not pay attention to those things. She goes, well, I was raised on a chicken farm. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so after that reading, it was, that was very imperative for me to learn, because then I went, okay, just because it doesn't make sense to me means nothing. But when you get the feelings and you see those things, you just put it out there. Yeah, you just put it out there. Like a client I was talking to last night, I said, I keep feeling this trauma at work. Well, she works in the ER, but she does it on a social side. Okay. Social worker side. And she's like, no, nothing's happened. And I'm like, okay, well, I just keep feeling this trauma at work. Well, she sent me an email today, and she said that they had a horrible trauma and it really affected her. So I was just a little bit more ahead of the ball game picking on that. Yeah. And then it came in. So, but the more open a person is to receive information, the more they're going to get.
True. Okay. We have a couple comments in the chat room. Kalina says, money is a consideration to the one spending. If one is comfortable with paying it, then so be it. They are fulfilling their desire to spend. Where there is a demand, where there is a demand, but doesn't mean it's worth that much given the same for free or for very little. Yeah. So yeah, again, if I want to pay it, if I had the $2,500 and I was comfortable with that person, would I pay it? Probably.
Yeah,
But
well, if the
you know,
exchange feels fair to you,
exactly.
then it's fair. I mean, because
Yeah.
that's all it is exchange. I mean, if we go back in the ancient times, it would be like, okay, they went to go see their village seer. They probably brought a goat and 2 chickens.
There
And they
we go.
slap
Chickens
over
again.
so,
There we
so,
go. Okay, Eric in the chat room. So I feel that over the years, the standard of readings and proof of life beyond has been diminishing. If we are rushing towards the shift, how does it bode for the ordinary person to understand what comprises a good reading?
okay, the standard of readings and proof of life beyond has diminishing.
Because
Well,
Eric's
first of
been doing
all,
this for a while. Go ahead.
the ordinary person that goes and gets a reading, they're going to feel that connection. They're going to have that connection. They're going to get those answers that they need. But a lot of it too is when that person is ready to awaken, they're going to want to go get a reading. They're going to be compelled to go do it. We get those soul urges that, we can follow or we can choose not to follow it. But did that make any sense?
Eric. Okay. And yep, for some people, they often need to pay a lot, so it makes sense and has value.
Yeah, but again, that's their thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You can talk to like you said, the $2,500 an hour psychic, or you can talk to the $25 an hour psychic.
Yeah. I have to admit that when I first started along my path here, my spiritual path, I came out of my spiritual closet. I always thought that, the more money you pay, the better you got of a reading or a healing or whatever the case was. And I've learned over the few years that I've been doing this, it's only been about 5, I've learned that there are some really awesome readers out there who are don't get me wrong, are worth the 25 grand, but they don't charge that
Yeah.
because they feel, Eric in the chat room, he's a really damn good medium. And I'm sorry, I need to go. Thank you. Night wings. See ya. He will only charge people when he goes to their house, and he charges them like pretty much it's gas price, But if he does a reading over the internet, like over Skype or whatever the case may be, or the phone, he doesn't charge you because he doesn't have to move his tuchus. That's my word, not his. But he's really good. But as far as I'm concerned, for every reading that I've had confirmation, people are like, oh my God, I think he's worth the 25 grand or the big bucks. But that's not his thing,
Yeah.
I doubt it. He would say no if you got offered him 25 grand. No, he'd probably say no, knowing Eric, but
there's also more humble souls too.
yeah. And Eric is one of those. It's what I love about my chat room. What about is everybody in here is not above giving free readings. Even in the chat room, sometimes they'll be like you and I will be having a conversation, and somebody will have asked a question, and everybody in the chat room will answer even before we get a chance to get to the question, because
See, that's awesome. Yeah.
because that's what I want it to be. I want people to feel free and comfortable. And
Well, it's funny is when you were talking, I kept seeing the same picture, so maybe I'm supposed to say this, but when we were talking about prices,
mm-hmm.
like back in the day before Ford bought Jaguar, right?
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine had a real Jaguar. It was beautiful. It really was. I mean, fancy schmancy. It was in the shop 70% of the time, but she didn't care because it was a Jag. So just because it's a high priced Jaguar or whatever doesn't mean that it doesn't come with its issues either.
Yeah.
So,
Very true.
and then you can go out and buy a brand new VW Bug, and that thing will last you 50 years.
Yeah, I like the VWs. I'm serious. I
They're
don't
cheap.
drive,
Yeah.
but I want original or Beetle Bug. That's what I want. That's my kind of car.
Is that your car?
That's my kind of car. I don't know a whole lot of cars. I don't know squat about a car except it's got 4 wheels and a motor. And like I said, I don't drive, don't have a license. They won't give me one. No, I'm kidding. But I I love original Volkswagen Beetles and Mustangs. Don't know why. And Jaguars have a whole other meaning for me than cars. But yeah. Okay. Right in the chat room, I have often done medicine Reiki for love offerings, and I have also charged. It just depends. Raven said that the goat and 2 chicken was a love offering.
Okay, so, a lot of times I go by my feeling, like I can tell if a client's hurt, and I'll change my price for him.
Yeah.
I work with people. I have people that text me and go, "Hey, I can only do this much." Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it all comes back. That's the whole thing. It all comes back, whether you do it for free or whatever. It all comes back.
Yeah, and I think that there should be more out there that as we call it, giving back. When I did when I first studied Reiki, my first 2 levels were gifted to me on a condition that I give back. And I said to the Reiki master, I do that all the time. He says, that's what you have to promise. That's our payment. You promise. And I was like, heck yeah. Because I had done my research on, to Reiki and healing and the cost and the places and the whatnot and the what have yous. And it was out of my price range.
Yeah.
And this gentleman came up and is like, he gave me an amazing gift. So yeah, so giving back is something I do regularly, and I do it without even thinking about it until after the fact. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, because it's part of who I am and what I do,
And it
and a
feels
lot of people,
good,
yeah,
doesn't it? It just
it
feels
does,
good.
and a lot of people do it without realizing it, and some people do it and they expect the big yay, thank you, and I was like, what for? Why do you need that pat on the back from the person who gave it, the healer? Why do they, if you're going to give it, shut up and go away. Don't give it and expect to have a big, oh, thank you, da, 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 da.
Exactly.
So for me, that's
you
like
give it on to the next.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole thing is, it can turn into that butterfly effect. You help one person, it can end up helping 10,000 in the end. So, people
sorry,
don't realize
Eric in the
how
chat.
energy exchanges are.
Yeah. Eric in the chat room says, sorry, I'm being drawn to bed. He's been up all day. He's over in the UK, so it's like,
oh my goodness,
2
what
o'clock.
time is it there?
It's 12:30 at night, so thank you.
Aw,
Eric.
nice.
Good night, sweetie. Talk this week, I'm sure. And behave-ish. This boy can't be doing too much. But yeah, I think that we have many good people out there who give without even thinking about it. They just do it automatically. And I've got quite a few in my chat room who do that often. So, yes, your younger brother will tell you all about the rest. I'm not even going there. Scott will just spill his guts.
Still the guts.
But, yes. Okay. We kind of went all over the place with bye-bye, Eric. Okay, so when you gave readings and and you do continue to give readings, do you do mediumship readings or do you do psychic readings, or like do you use a tool other than just spirit passing it through you?
Sometimes I'll grab my tarot and I'll just throw it down and stare at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't read the tarot. It just gives me something to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like throw a card, and it just spark. Or I can sit there and talk to somebody too.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. I do enjoy doing the mediumship. Is it my favorite part of what I do? No, but that's just my thing. That's just me. So, like I said, my thing right now is what makes me the most happy is just helping people move forward, see things from a different perspective
Mm-hmm.
so that they can get to the point where they need to get.
Yeah. Because sometimes
So,
it's all people need is just a hug
yeah,
or a
just to
boost,
see it
or, you know.
differently.
Yep.
Just to see it different. I mean, you can look at something and go, okay, this is going to be a nightmare. Or you can look at something and go, this is going to be an adventure. It's what you choose.
Yep.
It's what
Because
you choose.
one person's trash is another man's treasure, one person's adventure, another person's nightmare.
Yes.
You know, so long as it doesn't involve roller coasters, I'm okay. You know?
Perspective.
Yeah,
Perspective. Yeah.
exactly. Now, cards, I'm trying to lean you into something here. When we spoke, you had, you have the deck of cards that you want to get.
Oh, the deck that I'm working on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Viking deck, yes.
Yes. Why Viking?
Because I have a lot of Scandinavian lineage on both sides, on mom and dad's side, and we
Okay.
can trace them back to the Vikings. And I have a lot of Viking past life memories. And that all started when I was little too. And it seemed to be like my most happiest lifetimes. So it's like I'm working on my deck to bring that back. It's just an energy that I understand 100% of my being.
Okay, so is it going to be a tarot deck or is it going to be an oracle deck?
Tarot.
Okay.
I definitely
Because
want tarot.
your forte is in the tarots.
Yeah.
So when this happens, you do realize you're coming back on the show. You're going to show it all off, right? Because I
Oh,
do feel it's going to happen. I'm going to
absolutely.
make sure that anybody I know who does design and does cards, um, uh, um, will get poked and prodded by me to connect with you if they have any inkling that it works.
Yeah,
That's the connection to
absolutely.
Clairvoyant.
Yeah, because I've got the whole deck wrote now. I just need the illustrator / graphic designer because I have a very specific look that
Okay.
I want with the deck. I don't want it hand drawn. I don't want it painted. It has to be graphically done.
Okay.
So,
Okay, we
but
have a guest in the chat room who's on their cell phone, so I'm not sure who you are, but if
that's
you...
connection to friends. Viking God. Yes, yes, Viking Goddess all the way. Woo! Good
Oh, please
job.
tell
Yes.
Claire. Already a goddess in her own right. But, so yeah, I think, you know, like I said, when I first spoke to you, I had somebody in mind. I just haven't seen them lately, so I will poke and prod. Anybody who listens to this show in the archives, if you're interested in, let's go to Facebook and get your page. If you are a graphics artist and you do want to work with somebody that has an awesome energy, and Facebook is going to be very slow in loading. I told you, I'm really not. I'm prepared, but I'm only not totally prepared. And sort of. Okay, there we go. Found you. Copy here. Okay, in the chat room is now posted your link to your page. So if anybody wants to connect with you on Facebook, you can go there.
Great.
I didn't have a website, but we have Facebook, and you can get everything you need from there. But anybody who's a graphic designer, graphic artist, so
Illustrator as well. Yes.
Illustrator, come on, connect with her. have a conversation. You never know what'll happen until you have the conversation. And there we go. Okay. Did my I did my push. Oh, it's only the beginning. Wait, ha ha ha.
Yeah, I noticed Scott said, LOL, goddess of love and war. Absolutely. And fertility as well. So, yeah, that's Freya.
He's just smiling. He doesn't want to know about fertility because his puppy is a female. And oh, that's right. She gonna be fertile.
That's funny.
Yes, Raven, you have. You're going to be on my show, and we're going to talk about your glass.
Design glass. Oh my gosh, I bet that's awesome.
Yeah, when she agrees to come on the show, if I haven't frightened her off totally, she does some amazing stained glass, not stained glass. It might be stained glass. Could be wrong, but she'll correct me in the chat, I'm sure.
Well, anybody that design glass
stained glass
has got to be talented.
She's got some awesome butterflies. And if anybody hasn't noticed her on the butterfly. Yeah. But, yeah.
No, nice.
Freya, Scott's dog is, she's an Akita. And she's a goddess. And she makes sure everybody knows.
Yeah, if you go on my personal page, you'll see a lot of pictures of my Freya.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, like, not at all like Scott's, but oh my gosh, she's cute. She's black and white.
Yeah, with the nice blue eyes or the white eyes.
Yeah.
They're so blue, they're white.
Oh, Scott's Freya is Freya, Princess of the Ninth Circle of Hell. And that's because she's torturing her slaves. I swear, I will give you the link to her Facebook page. You'll kill yourself laughing. She's. I
would love to see it. That's awesome.
He has videos, and you'll actually get to hear Scott's voice. We don't get to hear all the cursing and swearing that Fritz says that he does, but.
Not like I have virgin ears, or
Yeah, sorry, she doesn't have ownership staff.
There you go.
That's right. Raven is also a groomer trainer, the T, and see if maybe she can help. There you go, Scott. I will connect you two afterwards because Freya's a big girl and she likes to be a bully, and because she probably thinks she's little compared to all the other beings in her household. So
that's funny.
Oh,
see, my Freya, she knows she's got it going on. She prances when she walks. Everybody runs over to her. Oh my God. Yeah. But I'm proud to say she was a shelter dog.
Oh.
So got her from the shelter. Yeah. I'm all about getting dogs from the shelter. So that's a big thing for me.
All of my dogs mostly have been shelter or unwanted.
Yes.
Except for my latest addition to my family. It was because I've always had big dogs in my life. And I wanted something little that would be just mine. So my son last year asked me, Mom, what do you want for Christmas? And I went, a dog, a little one, this little thing that I could hold into my hand. And when I got him, he was this little. Now he's about this big. Okay, maybe a little bit bigger. He's a Shih Tzu, and he's not really my dog. Because, I mean, I get to happy, you're home, feed me, and then he'll go sleep with somebody else. He's a tart.
That's funny. That's funny. We gotta have the tarts in our life.
Yes. Scott, see, it's a good thing you're in my life. Oh, tarts in, sorry.
Yep. They're so much more, grateful. They're so grateful. So. But my Freya is a habitual line crosser, though.
Habitual line crosser?
Yes. You keep telling her no, and she'll keep nudging and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And
I think it's in the name.
She's such a Frey. Yeah, totally.
I think it's in the name because Scott's Freya seems to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's a Freya thing. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Scott just says, I have your Freya's sister. They're twins, separated at birth from another mother.
Heck, mine's over there probably going, they're talking about me. Yeah.
See, we go from everywhere. Tracy, which I'm pretty sure is not Tracy, she's from a shelter too, but he was a pup that realized that he was too big for their lifestyle. He is a Leon burger? I have to look that one up. And it's taller than my hip. Holy jeez, you're my Tracy, that's a big one. Okay, you're gonna make me search and figure out what a Leon burger is. A hamburger. Almost had a shiny moment there.
Holy crikey. It's like the English Mastiff. Those things are mammoth. They're like ponies.
Oh my God, he's gorgeous. Sorry, I had a moment. He weighs 200 pounds. You should get together with him.
Wow.
They are gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Okay. Tracy, are you my Tracy? And Fluffy. So if this is my Tracy, then I'm assuming that dog will be brought around to the store so I get to see him live and in person. Okay.
Well, and dogs rock. And the thing, too, is, they always say dog is man's best friend, right? But spell dog backwards.
Odd.
Yeah. I think there's a hidden message in there.
Oh, Echo. Yes. No.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Okay. Okay, let's get on. As usual, my show kind of goes every which way. Like I said, my show is about being comfortable. And it's not just about who you are. It's not just one avenue. It's another avenue. It's every avenue that's part of you. So we went from working with the law enforcement to your cars to the dogs to I need to bring it back. If I could just have that moment back in my head that I had where I was going with you. Shoot. Oh yes. Now I remember. You get communication. When we spoke, you get connections from celebrities.
I do.
That have crossed over.
I do.
So,
I don't know why. I have no clue. Never have. It's just not all of them, but certain ones.
Yeah, you've had a couple that have. You want to choose one and tell us about
it? One was Chris Cornell.
Now, who's Chris Cornell?
He was the singer of Soundgarden. That's what he's best for. The singer. He was the main singer for Soundgarden, Audio Slave.
Okay.
Amazing songwriter, singer. God broke the mold on that guy, for sure. But, he did not commit suicide. He was killed. End of story. So.
Okay. So when he came over, he came to tell you, when he connected with you, he wanted to tell you that, everybody thinks I committed suicide, but I didn't. And
he did not.
Are you able to share that with those who, his family or?
The family already knows. They already know. They know.
Okay.
They know. I know they know. And so do his friends. They know. And anybody who thinks different, I mean, they didn't know him then.
Okay.
But one of the strangest ones I had was with Whitney Houston. And she showed, it was really strange because she showed me that right at that pivotal moment where she was still alive, and she showed me this. Spirit came down and they showed her, if you stay, this is what it's going to be. And if you go, this is what it's going to be. And she looked at it, and then she looked at her physical life, and she just went, oh, I'm going to go. And she rolled out. She rolled out. So, but it was weird. It was like she showed me the moment that made her decide I can stay and fight.
Okay.
And stay alive if I want to, or I can just go. And she literally just let her spirit go out of her body. And it was just so strange her showing me. I'm just like, first I was just like, okay, celebrity thing. And then second of all, it was just, wow. It's just amazing when people decide to just let themselves out of this physical heavy mess, that the body is.
Yeah, because she fought a long time here.
She did.
She
She
had a
did.
lot of stuff. So
But
yeah,
she did think about it, though. I mean, she had to think about it because she was like, do I want to stay? I mean, then I can go over here. And she did think about it, but then she looked at it again and went, no, I'm going to let go. And she did.
Do you think we all will have that that choice?
I think most of us do. I think most people are not afraid of dying. It's how.
Yeah. It's like, so long as I go my sleep and it's not painful.
Yeah, I think that's how most of us want to go. But then I'm sure there's some people that, really want to go out with a bang too. So maybe being a hero, maybe, saving a life, whatever.
Yeah.
But,
and I think it's also true that like for those who are left behind,
that's the hardest part, I think, of all is leaving people behind. I mean, when you're older and you come to terms and you know that your kids have their family and everybody's going to be okay, it's a lot easier to roll out than when you're 32 and you've got little babies.
Yeah, exactly. Scott the Giant says many spiritual indigenous people do the lying down and dying thing. So yeah, well, it's I guess it's because it's their choice to do that, and they're ready for it, and everybody else around is ready for it. But it's when the family's not ready for it. I'm going to use my dad as an example and my mom as an example. My dad was sick for many years with Alzheimer's, and he, he just sort of, his body just disappeared, and my father, once he lost who he was, when he stopped becoming my dad, and then his body was still alive, and like I said, it's, there was your dad, and then there's Mr. Hill. So Mr. Hill stayed longer than my dad did. And it was hard because I know that when somebody has Alzheimer's and they realize it, which is what my dad did, and he wanted to leave, I, as his daughter, and this was before my spiritual awakening, was like, no, Daddy, it may be selfish, but I want you to stay a little bit longer. And now I realize that, yeah, that was selfish. If I had just let him go then it probably would have been easier on him and on us and everything else. And a lot of people want their family to fight to make that, to last that much longer, because we're around to see them suffering. But we still, it's the physical presence of having that person there. My mother, my father, whoever, so that was. But now I'm kind of sort of enlightened in this,
similar thing too. Yeah. You slowly started seeing your dad leave, and someone else coming in, and every once in a while he would break through and he would say, "I used to be so smart. I used to be so quick. What happened?" And then boom, that other person would step in, and it was really hard when my dad died, because, it's total daddy's girl. But then on the other hand, it was, dad had been gone for a while anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So there was, of course, that wrenching part of me that the physical part of him was gone.
Yep.
Because I couldn't go see his face and touch him.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad had been gone for a while.
Exactly. I think
So
that's of all the diseases and the maladies that are out there. I think that Alzheimer's is the worst because it takes them twice. That's, thing.
it does.
But Tracy in the chat room says death does not scare her. Leaving her children and missing her eventual grandchildren, that's what scares her, is
Yeah.
what she wants. But here's the thing, Trace, you know what? When you do cross over, you get to see them 24/7, 365 because you don't have to worry about it. Putting your boots on, trust me, she's from here, putting your boots on and your coat on, cleaning the snow off the car and going to see them or having them come to you. You get to see them. But that's not meaning I'm letting you get away early, okay? Keeping you around.
But
But,
also, too, you can help them on so many different levels when you're on the other side.
yeah. And you can start it now from this side.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's the thing. A lot of people don't get that, like Tracy said, it's not fear of dying. Oh, you'd be amazed
You
at
won't see
how much
me.
they will
Oh,
see you.
yeah.
Oh,
You'd
they'll
be
see you.
surprised. You'd be very surprised. And it saves a fortune in Christmas presents.
I'm still waiting for mine.
You can visit them like the movie Scrooge. Remember that with Bill Murray? That's one of my favorites.
The thing is, Tracy, is you'd be amazed at what your children are grown, and what the next time you see a child, okay, watch them carefully, a baby, watch them carefully, about a year old, okay, and watch where their eyes go. Where I work, so I see a lot of babies where I work in a convenience store, and babies come in and go out because, parents are coming in to get their gas or their Timmy Hortons or their cigarettes or their whatnots and what have you. And I can remember one time that this woman came in with her child in the carriage, and that I was talking to the mother, and the child was like, and the mother goes, "Oh yes, isn't this interesting decorations?" I said, your child's not really interested in the decorations. They're way too young to worry about that. There's curtains drawn on the walls. She's watching somebody,
Yep.
And I said, "Look, stand in front of your child." And the child looked at her mom, and then looked exactly the same place that she was looking at before. I said, "There's somebody there." I said, "You just have to understand that they're seeing something you can't unless you stop, take a deep breath, and feel what she's seeing."
Yeah, like Scott's saying, the pets are totally amazing because, I'll just be sitting there and even I'm not seeing something, and then all of a sudden I'll see my dog's head jerk, and she'll literally, when it really hit her is my friend had a coffee shop, and the coffee shop the original building was built in like 1801 or something like that. And when we'd go in there, I'd take her in there with me, and she'd look in the corner and go, boof, boof. And she was disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, you got something right over there.
Yeah.
So she could see every single one of them.
Oh yeah. I made the mistake once. The property next to me was all forest, and when it was sold and they started taking down the trees, I made the mistake of saying to my little fairy friends that if they wanted to, they could come and stay with me until they found their permanent home. My cat didn't like me much because I explained to them that they should stay into my bedroom. I had no problems with them because the cat rarely came into my bedroom. But a few of them had to be playing in the bathroom at one point because my cat went into the bathroom and came shooting out of the bathroom. And every time he goes, even to this day, and they've been a while since most of them left, he's very leery when he walks into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because he can see them, and whereas I couldn't.
Yep. I remember being little, going down in our basement. I mean, basements are just creepy anyway. But boy, you could feel this presence down there. It wasn't a cool presence.
Okay.
And even my mom's like, "Can you feel that?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And you could just feel it right on your back. And my dad was kind of oblivious to it, and so was everybody else. But me and my mom. And finally one day she just said to me, "Do you think you could get rid of it?" And I said, "I'm gonna try. It's been here a long time." but I did some work and it went away for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And you go down there and you'd feel nothing. But my mom's energy at the time was not at its best, and it just sucked it right back in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a creepy feeling. I remember playing down there as a kid, and I would like, it's here again.
Yeah.
And then I would play as long as I could, and then I'd go, okay, I don't like them split, and I'm going upstairs.
So, yeah. Raven chat room says she thinks that her grandson sees his uncle who crossed over because he looks up and smiles. So, yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. You know, it's funny is my uncle, he's come in a couple of times, and it's like he's come in to warn me on some things,
Okay.
and then he gets stopped. Like spirit goes, hey, you're delivering information you're not supposed to. and then they cut him off.
Okay.
So like he came in and he was trying to tell me when my dog was going to pass.
Okay.
He was there to tell me when some other things were going to happen, and spirit, it's like he snuck through the back door to let me know that these things were coming. So I know if I dream of him,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be ready because something serious is going to happen.
Okay, cool. In the chat room, Scott says, so, you doing the animal communication thing yet? And not, why not?
I do, and then I don't. I mean, I just kind of let my soul go where it needs to go. What are you cracking up on? Are you okay?
No, I was yawning. I have.
Okay, you look like you were really cracking up.
No, because here's the thing.
But yeah, I can.
In the beginning, when I connected with my guides and my angels, it was always a yawn that came through. So something's.
You're resetting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I just kind of let my soul do what it needs to do when it needs to do it. Because I always know it's going to go in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they've got my back, and I'm going to go where I'm supposed to go, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Like every morning when I get up, I always ask, what is it that I'm supposed to do or know today?
Yeah. Do you have, when spirit comes to you, you're just like, washing your hair or cooking something or washing dishes, whatever you're just doing nonchalantly. Do you have a specific thing that happens when you know spirit's there?
Yeah, I mean, I see visions, I can feel, I can hear, but I'm so used to it that it comes in just so easy and so gradual. It doesn't, like some people, they get like that groundbreaking, kind of feeling.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just so used to it. But then every once in a while, they do like to surprise me and throw something at me. Like I was coming around the corner of my place, and I was getting ready to go up onto the porch, and I jerked back because I thought I was going to run into somebody. I wasn't paying attention. And then when I pulled up and looked, I was like, oh, that was a spirit. That wasn't a physical human being. And I just went, oh, okay. And then I just kind of had to shake it off. I do that a lot too, is I'll just turn around and there's somebody there. And then it takes me a second to realize, okay, that's spirit. They're not in the flesh. So that's kind of fun. That cracks me up. I always laugh and go, okay. So, but yeah.
Why I ask is when I connect, when I know there's the connection to me, I'll get shivers. And it's to the point where it's like, okay, yeah. So I'm sort of, nobody's there, but I'm like, yeah, okay, I got it, I know that I've got to do something. Or in certain cases, it's a yawn, and it would make me crazy, especially the yawning part, because I'm doing readings and people go, why are you yawning during a reading? It's just, it's hard to explain. It's not, I'm not tired. I'm not bored. It's just a connection.
I believe when we yawn, when we do that, we're resetting and kind of recalibrating our energy.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Scott says it's a silent scream for coffee.
Sometimes that too,
Yeah.
especially at 6 a.m. Ah.
Okay.
So, do you ever
get pushed to do the Long Island medium thing and drop the spook messages?
No, I am very anti. No. I mean,
Simple.
I've had a few times to be compelled to do that, and I did it very quickly, but no, absolutely not. That is not my style. That is not how I roll. That's just not me.
Yeah, I sit there and because where I work, there's hundreds of people in throughout the day, and one woman one time, regular customer, and then I found out, I was getting this feeling when she would come in every so often. I was like, okay, I'm not sure what it is, but okay. And then I got news that her daughter died.
Oh, jeez.
In not too very nice circumstances. And so I just kind of went, okay. It was, I'd had a couple of times had the feeling, and then I got this, and I was like, okay, fine. She came in, and I was like, okay, look, guys, you guys, and not talking to anybody specifically, but, talking. I said, you know where I work. I can't be talking to people if they're, if I got a cash lineup full of me and a guest list. So if the next time she comes in, you want me to say something to her, you gotta make sure that there's nobody in the room. So
yeah, I'm
thinking, this is my store. It's rare, not my store, but this is where I work. It's rare that there's nobody at the gas pumps and nobody at my cash. So it's like, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Next time she came in, there wasn't a single
Brian
person.
wrote in, he said, my gift attribute is different to most, and I have a hard time passing the messages across. I still have to learn the correct way to give the message over at the right time. When the right time is. It's all in the delivery. That's the math, Brian. It's how you deliver it to them. You never ever want to leave your client or your person devastated, scared, in fear. You always want them to leave in relief and in peace and feeling better than they were when they walked up to you. So and all you got to do is just ask your guides to give you the gift of the perfect delivery. And all you got to do is go, all right, Spirit, I have this message for this person, and I really don't know how to say this. Will you please step in and help me deliver this so that it helps and it guides them with ease and grace?
Get that, Brian? Go back and listen. Exactly. But Brian is very good. He's just when I first started to meet Brian, when I first met Brian, he was a silent guard. He sat in the back, and now I can't shut him up. But he's really good. You just have to. It's that thing that I was saying earlier. He's got to believe in himself and trust in himself. And
Absolutely.
He's getting better at it. So yeah.
The secret is, and I'm going to be blunt here. The secret is not to give a shit about what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
You know what your mission is. You go forward, because all that matters at the end of the day is what you think and what God thinks.
Well, if it's personal, not to say it in like, don't say it here, darling, you'll, when I had to speak with that woman, I said it has to be where there's nobody in their place, because I can't do it.
Yeah.
So, Spirit will pick the time and the place, even though they're like poking at you. You have to sit there and go, okay, but I can't do this in the middle of the church or in the middle of the grocery store. I have to have this one-on-one moment where there's nobody else around, so I can pass this on it. And if they don't want it, well, then that's a whole other ball of wax. And that was my next question, is to what happens if you have the message to pass on. Something just popped up in front of my screen. That was weird. If you have a message that you have to pass on, but the receiver doesn't want to hear it.
What I feel is if the message is that strong and compelling, drop it in their lap and walk off. I mean, if it's given to you, it needs to be said. At least when I work with spirit, that's what I always say is I don't want to see plane crashes because I used to see that stuff all the time. And I would see like people in the aircraft, the lights flickering on and off, people flying in the aircraft, luggage flying everywhere, people screaming. And and then the next day there'd be a plane crash. And finally I just said, look, please, if I cannot help or prevent, I do not want to know. And they honored that. Because to me, there's no point. I don't want to know. If I can't help stop it, I don't want to know.
Yeah. We got a question in the chat room, and I don't see anyone other than in dreams, but I do find feathers, find coins. I have made specifications that I want certain people to show me different sides of a coin. So far, so good. Things happen as kind of how I ask. Am I more intuitive, or am I being hopeful? Dora, you said you can ask anything. Only stupid questions the one you don't ask.
Now, to me, that's totally being connected, and also believing without a doubt that you're going to get your message. So that's actually the perfect place to be.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to see results by doing that. And it's funny because my dad sends me feathers and pennies all the time. But he doesn't just send me feathers. He sends me odd feathers so that I know that it's him. But the most magical sign that he'll send me, and it's funny because not many people know this about me, is that when I was 3, I was bit by a bat. Kind of funny, huh? And so when my dad sends me messages, sometimes they have to do with bats. And then I really know that's my dad stepping in and to pay attention about what's going on in my life right at that moment when I do see a bat.
Okay, Dad's got a specific sense of humor.
Yes, he does.
Okay, Scott in the chat room said, Tracy, interact in the dreams. Ask them things. When you awaken, immediately write down in a dream book. We all do it differently. If it's right for you, it's the right way. Exactly. Yes. Eric Glenn, who's not here, has a saying which I stolen, borrowed, and snagged. There's no wrong way to connect with spirit. Just everybody's got a different way.
Well, yeah, exactly. Everybody has their own unique way. I mean, just because one person does it one way doesn't mean it's going to work for the other. Just like people doing readings. Some people do jamming readings, doing, what do they call that? Tea leaf read.
Okay.
You know, and some people throw crystals on the table. Some people do runes. I mean, whatever their modality is that just that? That's just their thing. That's just how they communicate.
She says in the last few days she's had a partridge hanging outside of her bedroom window.
Yeah, tell her to look at the metaphysical meaning of partridge. But partridge is a bird, so that tells me that something's getting ready to take flight. I don't know a lot about the partridge, so that would be hard to answer. But the bedroom window. So that's definitely message coming in, and I feel like that's message coming in about life. Something to do with life. So there's something about life that's still left to live, if that makes any sense. Okay, fertility, life, yeah.
Okay, like, Tracy, they said fertility? Do you have something to tell me, child?
Drop it now.
Start knitting booties.
Yeah.
Oh my God, your daughter was there. Oh my God, did she tell you anything that we should be knowing? I said, okay, we're not going to do this on but next time you come into the store, I'm gonna be talking to you.
How funny. Aw. But
I'll
yeah,
I'll keep everybody informed.
go life. Go.
Granny T. Oh gosh. But yes, no. So, and as for you being more intuitive, it's you're opening to see. You're allowing yourself to see.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get the rocking chair. Mind you, we all have one. Allow yourself to see it, and realizing that, like you said, you you saw a partridge hanging out your window. Most people just think it's a bird,
Right.
but you know
exactly.
that there's something else to it. So
exactly.
that means, so there's something else to it. So yay. So
That was
yeah,
just
maybe
like the other night. It was really strange because, I mean, we're in winter where I'm at, and I came in and I was yakking on the phone, and I looked down and there's a beetle on my bed, and I'm like, where the heck did that thing come from? I mean, I was in and out, and it was just so strange, and I just went, look up beetle, and I did, and it said things coming back 3 times fold. So I was like, yeah, rock and roll. I'm ready.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Yeah. You got to look for those strange things that stick out. Just
and that's the thing.
Magic in it. Yeah.
And some people are. Yes, you're right, Tracy. Some people are looking for when they ask for a sign. This gets me every time. It says like, I've been asking my mom for a sign to show me that she's okay, or to show me, or my uncle or whatever, and they're looking for this big ta-da, the big taboo, but they forget a partridge on your windowsill, a beetle inward, little things that you're not supposed to see, a feather from a feather coat in the middle of summer when there's no feather coats around. It's like, whoa, hang on a second, they're little things. And
doesn't it remind you of that joke where the person is in the middle of the ocean and they're like, God help me, and a helicopter comes by and they pass off the helicopter, God help me, and a cruise ship comes by, and they're like, no, God's gonna help me, and they tell them to go on, and then they die, and they say, hey, why'd you let me die? And he says, I sent you a helicopter, I sent you a cruise ship, I sent you.
There you go. Awesome. And beetles were big in the Egyptian beliefs too.
Yeah, especially the scarabs. Yeah. But this was a beetle, but it wasn't a scarab.
Ooh, if it was a scarab in your room, I'd be like, okay, was it?
Yeah,
I
would have been.
Mummy, Revenge of the Mummy, Return of the Mummy.
If it was a scarab.
You're like, let me put this one in the jar and keep it.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, because people look for the big da and forget the little, and sometimes the guy in the boat was looking for God to send an angel down and come pick him up, and he didn't realize this angel was in the form of a helicopter and or a ship. So people have a specific thing in mind that they close their mind to everything else.
They do.
So
they
it's
do.
like,
and that's the magic of paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. And Scott, Mr. Funny Pants in the chat room says, did you get any extra powers when you were bitten by the bat, or hankering for leather clothing?
I tell you what, I think that's what kind of started a lot of this, to be honest with you, because, yeah. Either that or I was married to Batman in a former lifetime.
There you go. He was just coming back to give you a little kiss.
Yeah, I noticed that too, Tracy. Yeah.
My daughters laugh at me because when driving by Deb, I noticed that all the cars are red, or that when driving 4 cars in a row are white.
I get that too, and that's also a sign too. That's somebody telling you something.
Colors have meaning too, Trace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good talk. You got a lot of talking to do, Tracy. Look it up. A lot of the things that I've learned and that everybody else is by looking it up. Google is the best divination tool there is.
Oh my God, I know, right?
Because somebody out there has put something down on the internet. You can look up partridge and find 5 different people saying 5 different things, 5 different ways, but it all basically means the same thing.
Yep.
You know? So colors are the same thing. There's this thing that they do over they do it all over, but I know that they in the SNU churches in the UK, they've allowed it where they do ribbon readings. You draw a ribbon and it's a colored ribbon. So the person, the medium, the psychic, the whomever, is doing a reading on your color that you've chosen. And aura is a color. So it's all different meanings. So you have to sit there and think, okay, look at the color red. Does it have a meaning to you? Does it have a meaning you can Google it? Excuse me. Your 4 white cards in a row. You have to look up the number 4 and do the color white. You know,
yeah.
It's not.
And
it's
also
not
what the car represents too. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, the car is transportation. The car is moving forward. I mean, that's
because there's not just one meaning to something. There's more than one meaning. Also look and like Feline says, also look at how it makes you feel. Don't just Google it. That's what it represents. It's true. It represents what it represents to you again.
Absolutely. Because we all have our own perception about what means what.
Exactly.
Because me, if I see a boxer, I always know something. I know something of good luck is coming right around the corner. A boxer dog is a sign of good luck.
I was going to say Muhammad Ali. Okay. That'd be good. Yeah. You know, it's like she looked up the 888 when it comes up so often. It's of great abundance. And I saw my lottery tickets this week, didn't win. I'll check mine when I go back tomorrow to work.
But also abundance comes in many ways.
Exactly.
I mean, abundance could be an abundance. That's why I always tell people, be careful how you word things.
Yep.
Right? Because people can say, I want to be more abundant. Well, you can be more abundant in bullshit. You can be more abundant in money. You can be more, watch your words, be specific. It's like if you want a particular type of man, then be specific. If he has to have blue eyes, he has blue eyes.
Yeah.
I told one of my clients this. I was like, "You're not listening to what I'm telling you. You keep telling me you want a brunette. Quit dating the blondes."
Yeah. And Raven, be careful what you ask
I'm
for.
just like, you're sabotaging yourself.
Mm-hmm. But also you're looking at she wants a brunette, but she's dating a blonde because maybe a blonde is an actual brunette underneath.
Right, exactly.
You know,
and
so it could be
that too, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, but I also know something lucky is going to happen too when I'm driving down the highway and I get cut off by a vet. And it's a specific type of vet. It's the Z06, which I always laugh because it's got the Zoe in there. So, yeah.
Yeah, everything we can give, and everybody can share whatever works for us. You know, I've used the internet and Zoe as her thing, and Scott has his thing. It's what it is. It's our thing. Okay? Yeah. You have your own thing. You will know whether you look it up on the internet, whether you speak to a medium or a psychic, or whether you just shut your eyes and your ears and just sit with yourself and ask yourself that question and listen to the feelings that come up. Listen to what you feel. That's your thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to listen to somebody else, you want to believe what somebody else says, then that's cool too. It's nothing. There's no wrong way, because eventually you always come down to what it is meant to be.
They're just showing you ways that it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But we need that contrast. Like a lot of people call me up and they're just like, "Oh my God, this is going on and this is going on," and I said, you're not being punished by the universe. They're just showing you so much of what you don't want so that you get very clear on what it is that you do.
Exactly. It's like when you sit there and play the lottery ticket and go, I want to win money. Well, how many times have you gone into a store and said, I want to win money? They gave you $2. You still want money.
Well,
You have to be
exactly.
specific,
And not only that, but why limit yourself and just think lotto? I mean, there's 100 kabillion other ways that it could come in. Don't limit yourself.
Well, it's like I put out there on Facebook today, I want to have a fluid enough bank account that I can buy whatever cards I want so that I can have a whole wall full of cards.
There you go. There you go.
Then a friend said, well, I have a drawer full over 200. I was like, oh, I hate you. And so just make sure you give me all the names so they're in your will. They'll be willed to me. You know, I'm older than he is. I'll go before him. But then I go shopping freehand. But you have to, listen to yourself. Ask your questions.
Body, your body will tell you.
Exactly. And the questions are not.
Mother Nature will tell you.
Exactly. And the questions are not only, for me, when I have a question that's really burning in my mind, something's really bothering me, I will verbally, nobody's going to be around, I will verbally ask a question out loud, not just in my head. Because sometimes when I have it out loud, the answer pops into my head, what I need, the answer to the question, whereas if you're already where I'm already just asking it in my head, it's already full of my own words. I'm not, for me, it's not getting it out there enough. So I will ask the question out loud. It's like, okay, Darlene, where did you put the keys? And it's like, all of a sudden it's like, okay, they're over there. But if I just keep going in my head, asking the question, for me, I'm not opening that spot. It's full with the question. It's not open enough to have the answer in it. So listen to yourself as well. Listen to your body, listen to Mother Nature, listen to everything around you, listen to everybody else, but the most important thing is listening to yourself. Start there and then go out to.
Yeah, and sometimes I just go out there and go, all right, guys, show me.
Yeah.
And, when I'm talking to the divine, show me. And sometimes I'll even tell them, if I'm not getting it, you have my permission to hit me with the cosmic 2x4. So.
I like that. I used that with this video. It was funny. And hello, Miss Smarty Pants. You won a free ticket. You still won. Yeah. Well, it is 8:30. We have had a blast, but it's time because dinner's almost ready.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. You're such a doll.
It was a great time. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Feel free to come back anytime because, like I said, on the 10th of December, I am having what I'm calling an open night. Anybody who wants to get readings, give readings, it's there. If we have messages to pass on, you have a message to pass on, you want to come here, come on in.
That sounds like a blast.
It's just going to be a fun time.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Brian.
Everybody in the chat room, those of you who are here.
Yeah, Tracy.
Tracy, you and I, we're going to have the conversation. It's going to be fun. Zoe, thank you very much for finding me and agreeing to be on my show.
Thank you. And you have darling people on here. So
I happen to like my chatters.
You have darling people. Yes, you do.
Even the ones that went to bed, they're always fun.
We're still with them.
Well, everybody, I thank you, and I will see you next week. Next week is my little brother from another mother who lives all the way over in the UK. A very interesting character, if nothing else. So next week I will see you with a man on my show. So I'll see you later. Much love and butterfly kisses, everybody.